Now's the time we determine the people around you. When you have a weak moment, it's the people around you will determine how much you suffer in that weak moment. I mean, I felt like in the ring, at the end of the fight, which is excitement, we got a little athlete. Charlo had a little weak moment. He's not a nasty kid. I was known him for some time. Nothing about the kid is nasty. Had a little weak moment. Sometimes we got to grab the kid and pull him back. Ronnie had to grab him and pull him back a little bit. Julian's team is going to have to help him through this. And I think they will. Steve and the people, Zim and them, good people. So it was an outstanding fight. I thought it was back and forth. I thought the knockdown even was a 10-9. I thought he got up and made that a 10-9 round. It was that competitive. And we was in the room for a real great fight. And Charlo decided he didn't want to give us all that. I mean, he shortened the night up on us. Outstanding kid, outstanding fight. Charlo deserves the accolades, and his name should be ringing amongst, we had another little monster running around in there, that little boo-boo. That'll be another great one. I hate seeing my young boys battle each other because it's bittersweet, you know what I mean? But Boo Boo's a boxing fool. I've been watching him since he was about 13 years old. I mean, can really box. He really has that boxing thing down. I've watched him against the top amateurs in the world and everything. I mean, he's an outstanding kid. So we have to see. That's why we fight the fights. You know what I mean? How many of us really put all our money on that little skinny Cassius Clay or Buster Douglas? We didn't. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. How did you score the fight? If you were scoring it?
I was in my bias, because Julian's out of my gym since he was a baby. I had him moving ahead. So whenever it's like that, for me, I always break it even. Whenever I think my guy's ahead, I see it even, because I know I'm somewhat biased. But really, I respect Charlo and his people, and I watch Charlo grow. So Charlo was too big, too strong early. We knew that going in. Julian had to get him to the second half of the fight to really flourish. You know what I mean? He wasn't able to get him there. Early, Charles was a big, strong son of a gun. You know what I mean?
Brett mentioned that he felt he didn't have his legs. What do you do as a trainer to help get the fighter's legs back and then get back on track?
That's the thing why these 12 rounds mean difference than that amateur thing. When these 12 rounds give you the ability, you might have to sacrifice a round or two. Julian is a gangster. He's a little anxious. You saw him reach a couple times in those early rounds. He's that one for it. You know what I mean? Sometimes he got to pull back. Charlo's more experienced at championship level. He took advantage of that. You know what I mean? So when your legs are down, you got to bide your time. You know what I mean? If you're a little woozy, you can't just go running back out in the middle of the dance floor. You had a few too many drinks. You got to sit a couple dances out. You know what I mean? That's what I mean by the people around you. So your dance partner tell you, your old lady will tell you, no, why don't you sit this one out, honey? I saw you stumbling, you know what I mean? When your legs come back, then you get back on the floor. You had to be careful. Charlo's so strong, so experienced now in the early rounds. You saw him, his jab is a monster. You know what I mean? So Breadman felt like when the jab landed on the first knockdown, Julian never recovered in his legs. But he's so gangster, he's just gonna fight. His muscle memory just had him rumbling. And he was winning the rounds. It was like I said, I thought he turned to 10-8 to 10-9. You know what I mean? He came back with a nice right hand. I didn't like the fact he reached a few times. I was worried when he was reaching and he landed. When he was reaching, he landed one of the right hands. I said, because that could get him happy and he keep continuing to reach, trying to land that mark again. And there's no doubt in my mind that Ronnie Shields told Charlo, let him reach, and then come from up underneath where he never see it. And that's what he did, and we know the rest of it happens, man.